Hello, my name is Dan Gordon. I'm a CPA and principal with the firm PCO Bookkeepers and Turf Books. Our firm, PCO Bookkeepers and Turf Books, works with over 200 pest and lawn companies in 41 states, providing cloud-based accounting and the highest quality industry tax preparation, planning services, as well as consulting and brokerage services for those looking to exit and retire at maximum value. We know the pest and lawn care industry. What makes my opinion count when it comes to business information in our industry? My experience in the pest and lawn industry spans a quarter of a century, having owned a successful pest and lawn care company and managed and consulted with some of the industry's most successful firms. Today, I'm going to be speaking about properly deducting meals, travel, and entertainment properly so you don't run afoul of the IRS. Okay, without further ado, let's move right into our presentation. Okay. Now, business people pay enough taxes. Obviously, there's an outcry in our country about business people paying taxes and how we pay too much and whatnot. So we want to reduce our taxes no matter what. So as a small business owner, you may entertain clients and customers, and while it's often a business necessity, the costs can really add up. So you'll be glad to know that the IRS allows you to take a deduction for 50% of qualifying business meal and entertainment expenses and 100% of the qualified travel that goes along with it. You do need to follow some rules, and we're going to go into that real quickly. But let's talk about covering the basis. It's really important that you document what you've done in terms of entertaining, traveling, and or meals that you might have taken clients out for. So it's important to have calendars, diaries, appointment books, and logs to make sure that you document any legitimate expenses. So, in the electronic age, an Outlook file is good. If you can print your Outlook calendar, you can attach copies of the receipts that you receive from restaurants and or other entertainment. Now, what you need to do is make sure that you write a sentence on that receipt of who was there, what the business purpose was, and that evidence needs to be shown to an auditor if you come under scrutiny. I will tell you that most of our audits that we work on, that is the line item that they pick up right away. It's travel and entertainment and meals, okay? So if you don't have this diary, basically you could be dead in the water. Many times what happens in an audit is the auditor will ask for the diary, and if there's none that exists, that auditor has the right or may say, well, we're going to disallow everything. And usually it becomes a negotiation. In most of our audits, if it seems reasonable, we will usually get half of the deduction. That's not what we want. If you have a little black book and or an Outlook file that you can print out, that's what an auditor wants to see. And if you've got that, then he's kind of dead in the water as long as you're covering the bases correctly. So you have to document what you have. It's extremely important. Now, all travel expenses must be divided into two categories: travel costs to and from the destination, and then expenses incurred while at the destination. So if the trip is undertaken for business purposes, both of the above are deductible. Okay. If the trip is mostly for pleasure with just a bit of business, then lodging, meals, travel costs, and personal expenses are not deductible, even though the taxpayer engages in business activities while away. However, those business activities will be deductible. Okay, so if you are on vacation with your family and you meet up with a client and you take him out for a meal and you discuss business, that meal will be deductible, but nothing else will be. Okay, business expenses incurred at the destination must always be allocated between business and personal pleasure. Thus, even if a trip is primarily personal, expenses incurred while at the destination are deductible if related to the taxpayer's trade or business, even though the travel expenses to and from the destination might not be deductible. Okay, so in other words, if you're on a personal trip, your travel expenses are not deductible, but that meal would be deductible with that potential client or existing client. Okay, it's an all or nothing. Travel costs are therefore an all or nothing proposition depending on the primary business nature of the trip. Business-related portion of costs at the destination is always deductible, even if the majority of expenses were personal. Okay, that's that meal. If not necessary for the trip to be it's not necessary for the trip to be 100% related to deduct travel costs. This is an interesting one, okay, because there's a 51-49% test, okay. If the trip is 51% for business, then travel deductions are, as a rule, travel expenses are deductible. So 51% more for business than travel is deductible. If less than 50%, then the travel is not deductible. Okay. Meals and lodging, the cost of meals subject to the 50% limitation, and entertainment subject to that also, that 50% limitation, and lodging 100% deductible when the taxpayer is traveling away from home, and it is for the lodging and meals if it's 51% or more business. Okay. Now here's a question that always comes up: family members' travel expense. Travel expenses paid or incurred for a spouse, dependent, or other individual who accompanies a taxpayer on a business trip. Travel expenses are usually not deductible for them. They're not deductible unless the taxpayer unless the family member is an employee, has a bona fide business purpose for the travel, and otherwise would be deductible. So essentially, if your wife or husband works for the company, he's an employee, and there is a bona fide business reason for him or her being there, then it's deductible. If not, then not deductible. Okay, this is one that comes up all the time: business entertainment. So taxpayers may deduct entertainment expenses incurred for business purposes. To be deductible, the expenses need to be ordinary and necessary and incurred in the operation of a business, regularly carried on by a taxpayer. Okay, so what does entertainment mean? It means any amusement or recreational activity, and includes nightclubs, country clubs, theaters, sporting events, getting on a yacht, hunting, fishing, vacation, similar trip. It may also embrace any activity that satisfies personal living or family needs of any individual, such as food and beverages, a hotel suite, or a car to the taxpayer's business customer or his family. Now, here's the big aha, which people get very confused about. That's the facilities. Deductions for amounts paid or incurred in connection with an entertainment facility are generally not deductible. In other words, your country club dues are not deductible. Your hunting lodge, the mortgage payment, if it's a vacation home, it's deducted that way. But keeping up that facility or any expenses that you incur, those are not deductible. However, the actual event or party or whatever is deductible. So you can't deduct country club dues. What you can deduct are the entertainment or meals that you provide at the country club with a potential client. Okay. So in order to be deductible currently, the travel must be related to an existing business. Travel costs to investigate new or different business opportunities must be capitalized or amortized over 180 months. In other words, if you're going to deduct your business expenses, travel, entertainment, or meals, it has to be for a business that you're already in. You can't deduct those costs that you incur to research a new business. What those costs would be is part of your business organization costs, and they are amortized over 180 months. Okay, so we get that question all the time. I'm going to I'm going on a trip to assess a new business, and essentially, if you're not currently in that business, then those expenses are not deductible currently. Okay, so if you'd like to learn more about our firm, PCO Bookkeepers or Turf Books, and some of the services that we can provide for you, by all means visit us at www.pcobookkeepers.com or www.turfbooks.com. And here's a picture of the team at our firm, PCO Bookkeepers and Turf Books. We're here to help you. If you'd like to find out more about their qualifications, please visit our websites. Thanks for your time, and until next time, we wish you the utmost success in your business.